Please stand. Well, good afternoon. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Madison. I'm Jorge Hidalgo, Club President. And I was going to ask for like another 35 minutes. For thanks for coming to join us at our end of year celebration. And our theme today is going to be Connect, Grow, and Serve as we look at this past year. So let's get started. Dick Lovell will lead us in singing our national anthem with Jeff Bartell on piano. Following our patriotic song, they'll lead us in singing our feature song, Chattanooga Choo Choo.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. So say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you. You may be seated. Yeah. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Is that the Chattanooga Choo Choo over there, Jeff? Is it? Oh, good. 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 Yeah. Pardon me, Jeff. Is that the Chattanooga Choo Choo? Track 29. Gotta be there on time. Woo! I can afford to board the Chattanooga Choo Choo. I've got my fare and just a trifle to spare. You leave the Pennsylvania station about 3:45, read a magazine, and then you're in Baltimore. Dinner in the diner, nothing could be finer than to have your ham and eggs in Carolina. When you hear the whistle blow and 8 to the bar, then you know that Tennessee is not very far. Well, shovel the coal and gotta keep it rolling. Woo-woo, Chattanooga, there you are. Now, driving this train is an engineer who's awesome. George is his name. 4-way test plus is his game. He led so well, even as we had to Zoom alone. So thank you, Jorge Hidalgo. You really choo-chooed us home. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jorge Hidalgo. You really choo-chooed us home. Thank you, George. I got a train to catch. I don't want to take your notes with me, though. That probably wouldn't be a help to the president.
Thank you. Oh, wow. So thanks to Dick Lovell and Jeff Bartell. It's so nice to have music in person, right? I mean, so much better than tape. So that's fantastic what you guys did. Yeah. So we've got great attendance today, and it's just fantastic. Every week we're seeing more and more of our fellow Rotarians, and that's what makes our Rotary Club so special, having such a great group of community leaders. So I want to introduce some guests, and so when I introduce you, please stand. So I've got Lisa Blount, Kenton Sorensen, Marlene Sorensen, Anna Krishnan, our guest of Teresa Holmes. Okay? Okay. And we have Mike Dillis, who's Assistant District Governor and member of Madison South. So Mike, could you please stand? It's good. Welcome, Mike. Okay. And we got Carol Ruley is a guest of Jim Ruley. So Carol? Okay, thank you. And Don Danita of Fleary Simmons is a guest of Becky Steinhoff. So thank you very much for joining us at today's meeting. Now, we've got some really great news. So as we're closing out the year, I'm pleased to introduce new members today, and we have 6 new members that we're introducing. So that's fantastic, right? So will Jason Belangi please stand with his sponsor, Ron Luskin? Okay, Jason has been loaned the classification Community Services and is Executive Director for Access to Independence. A native of the Madison area, originally from Cross Plains, Jason now makes his home on Ahwahnee Court in the Township, Oregon, with his wife, Heather Hogan, and their 2 daughters. He holds a bachelor's degree in social work from University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire. He serves as the current chair of the Beyond Compliance Task Force of Downtown Madison Incorporated, and he holds a gubernatorial appointment to the Independent Living Council of Wisconsin. So Jason is currently chair of the board of directors for the Wisconsin Coalition of Independent Living Centers, and is a member of the National Council on Independent Living. He enjoys spending time with his family. I'll go slow on the activities because I want those people who are fellowship chairs to think about who you're going to recruit, okay? So bow hunting, archery, fishing, and outdoor projects around the house. So remain standing. Both Sean Carney and his sponsor, Ron Luskin, please stand. Now, Sean may be familiar face for a lot of you who've been here in the club for a while. Sean has been loaned the Classification Community Service and Executive Director for Catholic Charities of Madison. He's a former member of our club from 2004 to 2012. He was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Sean and his wife, Nancy, live on Royal Oak Circle in Verona and have 2 adult children. He holds a bachelor's degree in accounting from Upper Iowa University. Sean is a member of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Wisconsin Institute of Certified Public Accountants. He volunteers at the Catholic Multicultural Center and as audit chair for the Madison Community Foundation. He is also chair of Coaches versus Cancer Board for Ambassador. Again, fellowship groups. He enjoys pickleball, well, that's a possibility, tennis, and reading. So please remain standing, and will Ted D. and Ellis Waller please stand. So Ted D is returning to our Rotary Club. So Ted has been loaned the classification of Arts Performer retired. He is former president and CEO for the Overage Center for the Arts. Ted was previously a Rotarian member in Brentwood, Tennessee, and New Albany, Ohio. And he was a member of our club from 2012 to 2019. So it hasn't been gone that long. We almost can take the year of the pandemic, out, right? So it hasn't been that long, right? He holds 9 Paul Harris Fellows. Ted was born in Rochester, New York, and currently lives with his wife, Hamla Hinchman, on Comanche Way on Madison North Side. He has 2 grown children. Ted holds a music education from SUNY, for those that aren't from New York, that's State University of New York, in Fredonia. And that's on the far west side of the state. I'm on the New York City, so on the east side. So he is a member of the Association of Performing Arts Presenters, International Society for the Performing Arts, and the International Association of Venue Managers, of which he is a certified facilities executive. Okay, fellowship groups. He enjoys travel, hiking, and tennis. So please stay standing. Will Aaron Embry please stand with his sponsor, Paul Hoffman? Adam had the loan classification financial institution as a branch manager from Nona Bank. Okay, now this is interesting. A native of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, Aaron now makes his home on Ella Terrace in Monona with his wife Emily and their 3 sons. Hey, that's good, huh? Aaron holds a bachelor's degree in recreation resource management from UW-Madison. He loves to volunteer. Everybody pay attention. And has been involved in many ways with Dane County Parks, Habitat for Humanity, and the United Way of Dane County, to name a few. Now, he's a certified dive master in scuba diving, so we're thinking about a scuba fellowship group. So, great. Please remain standing. And will Chris Kolakowski please stand? I am Chris's sponsor. Chris has been along the classification of government state, and he is the director of the Wisconsin Veteran Museum. So if you remember around, I think a couple weeks before Memorial Day weekend, he actually did a presentation to the club. So he was born in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and came to Madison in December of 2019 with his wife, Alice. They make their home on South Bedford Street. Chris holds a bachelor's degree in history and mass communications from Emory and Henry College, and a master's degree in public history from the State University of New York. He is a member of various professional organizations, including the American Association of Museums. Let me see. Is Ellsworth? You and Ellsworth have a lot in common, so make sure you stop by and see Ellsworth. The Midwest Association of Museums and the Wisconsin Federation of Museums. Chris is also an honorary colonel and a life member of the 116th Infantry Regiment of the Virginia National Guard. He has been a civilian employee of the U.S. Army. Again, fellowship groups. Chris enjoys reading, writing, baseball, hockey, and travel. So please remain standing. Will Greg Sikorsky please stand? And I am Greg's sponsor. Now, Greg has been loaned the classification of government federal and recently retired from the military as the U.S. Navy captain, which is kind of interesting because if you look at his tag, it says U.S. Navy, so he's in that transition. So he's director of operations for Cyber Nines, a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business which offers assessments, audits, and compliance management services to small and mid-sized businesses in Wisconsin, Minnesota. Born in Chicago, Greg came to Madison in 2017 with his wife, Carrie. They live on Cape Silver Way in Middleton. He holds a bachelor's degree in history from the University of Illinois, a master's degree in finance from the Naval Postgraduate School, and a master's degree in strategic resource management from the National Defense University. He enjoys woodworking, mountain and recreational biking, and we do have a bike club, so that's good, fellowship group. Cooking, right, and we have a cooking club, right, fellowship group, and then wine. So, there's a lot of draftees right here for my fellow, so that's fantastic. So what a great group of new Rotarians. So let's please stand and give them a round of applause and welcome them to our club. So that's fantastic. So now one of the things that we do have is birthdays. So obviously we don't have a Rotary meeting next week, right? Because we always try to stay away from the week of July 4th. So we're going to celebrate 2 weeks worth of birthdays. And, we ask people to go ahead and provide their inputs and hopefully a little bit of humor or wisdom that complements Rotary's mission. We also encourage members to make an age-appropriate gift to the Madison Rotary Foundation, rounded up to $100 for their Club Synergy Scholarship Fund. So when I call you out for your birthday, please stand and remain standing. So the first one is June 27th, Jed Engler. Okay, June 28th, past President Renee Moe, who shares annually. I remember Rotarians Bob and Erwin Goodman, who shared their birthday week and did so much for our community through their goodwill and philanthropy. Proud to live service above self with all of you. June 28th, Sally Jo Spaney. June 30th, Michael May. Michael, okay. Michael did have a little bit of humor. Did you hear the one about the skeleton that went into a bar? No? He ordered a beer and a mop. Okay. I didn't write it. I'm reading it. June 30th, Lee Schwartz. July 2nd, Steve Goldberg. Great. And I want to thank all of you for showing up for my birthday luncheon today. Happy birthday to me. July 2nd, Oscar Morales, who shares a quote from Malcolm X. You can't separate peace from freedom because no one can be at peace unless he has his freedom. Okay. July 3rd, Annette Helmer. Okay. July 3rd, Patrick Marston. Okay. We'll go on to the next week's. July 4th, Ted Crabb. July 4th, Nathan Wattier. July 4th, Trip Witter. July 7th, Steve Musser. And July 9th, Greg Michaels. So thanks to our celebrants for the contributions to the Madison Rotary Foundation. Jeff Bartell will play Happy Birthday, and let's sing Happy Birthday to our 2 weeks of birthday celebrants. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rosarians. Happy birthday to you. So we have a brief business item to take care of today. So Rotary International is seeking a vote for our membership for a candidate who's going to serve on the nominating committee in the 2021-22 to select the next Rotary International president, right? So the hierarchy of Rotary is that you have the clubs, right, which are part of the district, right, which then goes into a zone. And then the zone, you know, it goes into the Rotary International. So basically what we have is our Rotary Club is part of District 6250. And we're one of 16 districts that comprise Zone 29. So our vote today is for the candidate to represent us in Zone 29. Now there are printed ballots at each of the tables today on ivory paper and a few pens if you need. And I ask that someone from each table pick up the stack and pass them around to members. And guests, please do not vote. Okay. Now I know of all the things that are going on with election integrity. Now I'll put a little bit more instructions here. So the first thing is please follow the four-way test and do not vote more than once. Now there are bios included for the 3 candidates from our zone. Note that one candidate, Mary Beth, is from our own Rotary District 6250 and appears to have quite a bit of experience in case you are seeking some guidance. Please vote for one candidate, fold your ballot. In a few minutes, members of our Kitchen Fellowship will come around and pick up the ballots. Well, you're not guests, you're actually members. You can vote. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, proxy vote for me? I'll just make copies later. Oh, okay, with that, it's being all collected, so in the interest of time, let me go on to the next one. Okay, so we're now going to move into some of the highlights of the year, and before I hand the gavel over to incoming President Teresa Holmes, we'll start with Don Krim, our Madison Rotary Foundation Vice President, who will summarize the great things we're able to do in our community this year.
Good afternoon, everyone. So our Madison Rotary Foundation currently has over $16 million in assets. The pandemic has caused some major dips in the market, but our funds have rebounded nicely over the last few months. So I am pleased to share that we have provided over $749,000 in support to our community and beyond during the current Rotary year. Over $213,000 has been distributed to community grants to 46 organizations to provide help to homeless families, provide medical visits for underserved children, funding towards a 15-passenger van for a youth program, evening meals for seniors unable to afford the cost, assistance to food pantries to serve families and individuals in need during this challenging year, and so much more. Over $23,000 has been distributed to new international projects. We're beginning to work in Chile and the Ukraine. Mary Donahue, who is the chair of our Rotary International Foundation, gave us a brief overview of those months, and we'll hear more about that in the coming months. We provided over $25,000 to Madison High School students through our annual Youth Recognition Program, the Awards Recognition Program. We provided over $372,000 in 4-year college scholarship assistance to 25 deserving students who graduated from Madison high schools. The program, as you all know, have been enhanced over the years by 2 special funds, one set up by Ellie Schatz and the other by Arlen Kay and his late wife, Lori Kai, who was a member of our club for many years. Those 2 funds combined provided over $4,500 in grants to Rotary scholars who were in need of additional funding during college or special training needs. Unfortunately, we did have to pause our Rotary Ethics Symposium during the pandemic, but we'll be back in 2022 to host over 200 Dane County high school juniors for a day to learn more about how to work through ethical dilemmas in our everyday lives. That, of course, has a cost to it. It costs approximately $17,500 to rent the space and for food for the students who are attending, and it's covered by your foundation dollars. We have a budget of $5,100 for Rotary Youth Exchange programs, but as you know, because of the pandemic last year, we did not have that program, but it will start again next year. This is the 2nd year of our Opportunity Fund, which has a small amount of undesignated money for projects that fall outside of our regular funding cycle. This year, we used $4,500 for 5 projects. Those projects provided COVID relief efforts in India and Nepal, books for a Guatemalan school, funds to plant trees at local schools, meals for families in need during the pandemic, and basic necessities for women leaving situations where they were either sexually exploited or trafficked. We are also providing funding for a fitness program for older adults in the community, as well as grants to veterans who are going back to college full-time who are in need of emergency funds during college. So we can all be very proud of our support of our community over the past year, and we appreciate all of the support from all of our members and for those who made gifts to the Madison Rotary Foundation this year that have enabled us to provide these grants. So I thank you, and I'll now turn the podium back over to George.
So thank you, Don. So I'd like to mention, in addition to $750,000 that we raised for the community, we also raised $45,000, which went to the Rotary International Foundation. So that was raised in the last couple of months. So our campaign was held in May, and we want to thank all the members who contributed to that. And thanks to Mary Donahue, who did a great job in getting everybody fired up with that. Mary, you here? Okay, good. Thank you very much, Mary. Let's give her a hand applause. Yep. So I call it my swan song here, George's last stand. So I'm not a sentimental guy, but I have to think back to when I was selected to be your next club president. It was a great honor, but it also made me wonder, how could I become one of the presidents that Rotarians remember the most? Because there's a lot of really good former presidents. So I thought maybe if I double the amount of money raised to the foundation, that would be pretty good. How about reaching 1,000 members? Or if only Godzilla came out of Lake Mendota during my Rotary year and I fought him off. That would make my president unforgettable. Well, nowhere in my wildest dreams or thoughts did I think that I would have to deal with a once-in-a-century pandemic. So I became the very best spiritual president this club has ever had. It wasn't what I hoped, to be honest, but it does have some perks. Of course, you must remember that even though things seemed to come to a standstill, they never really did. Our Rotary office staff got our club up and running in short order. They even went to members' homes to show them how to join our virtual meetings. So let's give them a round of applause for everything they did. Now, Brian Baskin and Jason Barron gave their time, expertise, and even the facilities to ensure we could live stream the meetings. Now, granted, we told them they could invoice the club for their services, but we never told them we'll pay the invoice. So we owe them a great deal of gratitude for their year-long effort and tremendous contribution to the club. That's why I have decided to donate 2 packs of 3-ply toilet paper to the Rotary Foundation in their name. Hey, there was a shortage, right? So, at the same time, our committee chairs made sure the work of the club went on, and the fellowship chairs made sure the fun of the club went on. It wasn't easy to do, and it was especially important at a time when lockdowns and uncertainty resulted in a great deal of stress for all of us. Now, the board was able to revise our strategic plan and put together the 4 task forces which will help our club survive and thrive in the long run. Now, who are the members of the strategic committee? Could you raise your hand? Yes, so people know. Okay, Susan. Okay, and there's where's Lou's part of the Lou's here. Lou, as a general, you got to raise your hand. Come on, okay. So thank you. So while the kitchen committee received lavish unemployment benefits, the board had to make do with Cheetos and Diet Coke. And of course, there's all of you. Despite a once-in-a-century pandemic, our club donated over $750,000 worth of community grants, programs, and scholarships. We continue to mentor scholars whose life was turned upside down by COVID. And we expected the pandemic to reduce our membership to 400, but 419 of you stayed on board, attended our meetings, and participated in the life of the club. So Rotary was there for the community when it was needed the most. And all of you refused to give up on Rotary when Rotary needed you the most. And you still refuse to give up. You are our future. There's still a lot of need in the community, need for basic services like food and shelter, need for education, need for reconciliation and unity. It is not going to happen unless we make it happen. So I call on you to reach out to other Rotarians, encourage them to come back to our in-person meetings, keep building goodwill and better friendships. And we start off right where we left off before the pandemic. So our work is not done. It has gone on for over 100 years. And if you think our club was chartered in 1913, so we're talking about 108 years. We stand on the shoulders of giants, considering the $16 million we have on our foundation. So let us look to the legacy for another 100 years or more. Now I'm about to join the ranks of retired presidents, playing golf, watching commercials for reverse mortgages, and Medicare supplemental plans. But having been your club president during an especially challenging time was very meaningful to me, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to serve. I bid you a fine farewell. Yeah, thank you. So if I could have Teresa Holmes come on up. Teresa, I'm presenting you with the presidential pin. Congratulations.
Better not grab the wrong pen, right? At this time, I will call for our president-elect nominee, Paul Hoffman, who will become officially our president-elect. He didn't say ouch. I got it right. And now I will call for past President Andrea Kaminsky, who will present our immediate past president pin.
Got to get the right pin here. All right, I am pleased to present this past president pin to Jorge Hidalgo. George, I welcome you to the Past Presidents Club. You know, this is your ticket to benign neglect and oblivion. But you'll also find that that it'll be very rewarding, and in the sense of the benign neglect and oblivion, it's almost as good as retirement. I think you'll like it. So which lapel? Here we go. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put through the buttonhole. No, I'm not. Here we go. Thank you for your service. And now I'm calling Jason Barron to the podium.
Thank you, Andrea. George, during your year as virtual and hybrid president, I wanted to note that over 19,500 views were achieved on our YouTube channel. 19,500 views. However, we may have to call for an investigation. 352 of them were from Russia and the Ukraine. But there are also people from the Netherlands and South Korea that watch too, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. George, I am pleased to present to you the past president's plaque. There you go. And I now call on past President Donna Moreland to the podium.
Thank you, Jason. Now, I am fully vaccinated. The vaccine covers the COVID-19 virus, perhaps the Delta virus. We don't know about the Delta Plus, but it does not protect you from snotty-nosed grandchildren. Okay? So I have a cold, so I'm protecting all of you. Keep that in mind. So, as is customary with Rotary, we like to present, in honor of your service, George, the Paul Harris Fellow Pin, as well as a gift bag. And I don't know what's in it, but hopefully it's as good as what was in mine. Okay? It's heavy, all right.
Thank you.
And I will hand you this and not pen.
Thank you very
Thank you, George. And here are my cards. And now I'd like to turn the podium back to President Teresa Holmes.
Thank you. Thank you for all the past presidents who have served today and over the years. If you are a past president and you are in the room, would you please stand? Let's thank them. Yeah, George, you're in that rank now. Thank you all for your service. All right, to our guests, I would like to thank you for being with us today. I actually hope to see you at a future luncheon. Rotarians and staff, thank you for your support and your service. Tomorrow begins the new Rotary year, and it will surely be a journey you'll want to be a part of. Our modified organizational structure will include experiences and engagement with outcomes that are better than normal. If the fun reflected in the plus over the year has become a part of what you've been connected with, you're in the right place. Did you know that fun is actually in my DNA? That being said, the upcoming year is intended to leave every person in the room who attends our weekly luncheon program with a sense of what can happen when we connect, grow, and serve with each other. Good food, great programs. I said good food, yes, it's getting better. Watch. Good food, great programs, and fellowship worth investing in. On July 14th, I'll share more with you about myself, my values, and what you can expect from me in the coming year. It will also be the day I meet with the new team leaders and those of you who have said yes to serving as committee chairs. Thank you for our upcoming year. We'll also have a new slate of board members who will be actively and ready to execute our initiatives through the specific teams that they support. And a new recruitment plan will be underway, and our member experience retention team will also be initiating activities designed to keep you coming for far beyond 1 year. Lastly, there will be special segments included in our weekly programs, innovative approaches woven into the fabric of committee work, and creative ways to communicate the club changes that were approved over the last year. I will be your chief change champion, leading the way to an unforgettable and impactful journey for Rotary and our community. Thank you. All right, we're getting to the end of the program. So we have been so fortunate to have Brian Baskin and Jason Barron assisting us with audio visual this past year. You'll hear a little bit more about this, but Mike Dillis is in the room. He's one of our assistant governors, and we just found out that we received a district grant for hybrid. So we've done well, Rotarians. And as they worked behind the scenes, Jason and Brian, they've had at their fingertips some bloopers and some fun things that happened during George's year. It's coming. So be sure that we'll finish on time. But before we close out today's meeting, we'd like to show you some of those highlights. And of course, like I said, we'll try to be done by our usual 1:05 time. But let's take a look at those video highlights and then give thanks to Brian for putting this video together.
Okay, great.
And the four-way test.
So I think you may want to hold it up,
Yeah.
so people see it, and then very gently put it on here. And I'll cut away in case it
You like
falls.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But we'll,
I'm gonna add a sixth one that says drink scotch.
I think if we get a piece of foam board, this was just the first try at it. Here, stand.
So I'm gonna say change the four-way test. Let's call it four-way test plus. Yes.
So George, stand in front of the podium
sir.
for a second so you can see the different views. Yeah. Hold it up.
So hold
you
it
can
up.
hold it up like that so everyone can see it. Yeah, there you go. Is it fun to all concerned?
Okay, cool. Got it.
And
Okay,
then
great.
you'd go over and put it on. But if
And don't do it now, because
don't do it now. Yeah.
the Velcro's a little flimsy.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. You stay. No problem.
Once it's on, it's staying on for now.
Okay.
And then during the
Okay, and the final question. I'm not sure if everyone knows all the food fight restaurants. Can you state all of them, please?
Oh, geez, George. I'll try.
That was a stump question. Yeah.
Craftsman, Hubbard Avenue Diner, Market Street Diner, El Dorado, Tex Tubbs Taco Palace, Bar Coralini, Monty's Blue Plate, Avenue Bar, Everly, Nico Poke, Let's see, we've got Institute of Discovery. We've got, of course, the Fresco Overture Catering. Let's see here, Cooper's Tavern, Cento, John Delmonico's Deluxe. Do I have them all?
Yeah, that's outstanding. Thank you.
Buy gift cards, please. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You bet.
So now, do we run some applause on there? Okay. So thank you for the presentation. Lisa is outstanding. And one thing that you don't get, Lisa, the appreciation of the impact that you're making on people here. And I think you'll notice in the chat, unbelievable amount of positive comments. So you can always go back and look at it, but really, people, you have touched a lot of people here, and you can see their names and so forth. So I'm sure there'll be follow up on it. But thank you for an outstanding presentation, and thanks for everyone who attended the meeting. And I guess I should, go ahead and take it off. With that, thank you so much for listening in, and it's great to see all of you, and we are adjourned. August 17th, Lou Harnett, who has maintained a 100% attendance since joining our club in July of 1985. Now, Lou celebrated his 96th birthday on Monday. I understand that Lou has a brief birthday video he wants to share.
I just hope we get together soon, that we can be back to person. The beautiful thing about Rotary, as far as I'm concerned, is the wonderful lectures that we have, the camaraderie that takes place. It's just unique. And we do so many good things that a lot of people don't know what we do for the community and so forth, but it's just great to be a Rotarian.
Is there anything special you want George to do for you?
Well, now listen, I've been thinking about this. George and I have got to be pretty good friends. I'd like to challenge him. George, do you think you can do push-ups? The number of what my birthday is? I'm just asking this. I'm looking at you. Good Lord. 66 push-ups? You think you could actually do, was that right?
You're 96, though.
I mean, 96 push-ups, excuse me. 90, cut that out.
Yeah, we know Brian can do
Okay.
that.
90, you think you could handle 96 push-ups? I'm willing to watch to see if you can actually do 96 push-ups. Go for it.
Well, Lou, I've never been told by the general to knock out some push-ups. So when I was younger, obviously I could do 120 within 2 minutes. That was the Ranger physical fitness test. Obviously a little bit older, but 96, I'll do what I can.
It's amazing.
Oh, man. It's been a long time. So I actually went through my sock drawer, and I think most of us have sock drawers. And so just go through and look at the socks that are way in the back that you haven't used for quite a while. So here's some of the socks that I'm donating. Okay, so bright blue socks, as you know, I'm a business executive, and also I've been in the military before. So this is a little bit too radical for me. Maybe it's good for Jason Ilstrip, but for me, no. So I'm donating these socks. And then I've got another pair of socks. These are brown. I kind of prefer black and blue, but brown, not my color, so I'm going to donate those. Thank you, Elaine and Casey. That was really outstanding. Definitely a little bit of difference. What's going on? What is that? Hey, I didn't know your place was haunted there. Oh, let me get. Wow, that's pretty scary. So, hey, you're going to have to talk to the landlord about what you got in this facility there, Brian.
I have some really big shoes to fill in George's absence. I don't know about all of you, but I've been so impressed with how George has risen to the challenge and is leading our club during this pandemic when we can't meet in person.
So, past President Susan Schmidt serves on our member recognition committee, and she will present awards to two of our members today. Susan? Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Madison. I'm Jorge Hidalgo, club president. Thanks for joining us today. Beautiful day today, so let's have some fun here. So before we start our regular meeting, I will call on Rotary Foundation President Martha Vukolich Austin, who will handle our Madison Rotary Foundation's annual meeting. Yes. Well, thank you very much. I mean, good afternoon. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Madison. I'm Jorge Hidalgo, club president, and I am super excited to see all of you. I mean, it's just fantastic. Isn't it great to be back? I mean, it's just a little bit of normalcy that makes it, it's just so fantastic. So my opening message today about friendships, and that's what I tell it's hard to keep from hugging and shaking people's hands because I was so excited to see so many of you. So I guess a question for Marion, being that I lived in Germany for 3 years, about what time frame they used to Ich liebe dich?
I didn't understand the question.
About what time frame? How long before he said Ich liebe dich? So, well, Jeremiah Johnson, correction. Jeremiah Robinson. For some reason, in my psyche, I love the movie Jeremiah Johnson, so much with Robert Redford, I think it was, right? That when I see Jeremiah, I automatically go to Johnson. So I apologize for that. Because we're suffering the same situation. If anybody wants to buy a car now, my recommendation is wait, okay? Because we're in the same situation with the supply problems. So with that.
Well, there you have it, immediate past President Jorge Hidalgo. And thank you again, Brian, for that video rendition. All right, immediately after adjourning the meeting, I'd like to have all the people who were involved in the program today right here for a photo op, please. All right, and with that, we are adjourned.